Hello, Troop 216 Assistant Scoutmasters. This is the first video in a series to help with understanding how to do different activities within the troop. On this episode, we will be discussing how to add a trip or an event to the troop web host calendar. So starting at the main login page, you'll need to be logged in. And then unless you have calendar in your quick navigation bar at the top, you go over to the menu, go down to calendar, and click on calendar again. Now we're at the calendar, you need to navigate to which month you want to add an activity for. In this case, I will be adding an activity for March of 2023. Now that we've navigated to March, we look down to the bottom, we have different options down here, one of which is to add an event. Another is to add an event at a new location. So if you happen to know that this event is not at a pre-populated location, you can use this to provide where that new location is. In this case, this will be the Cardinal District Camporee, which will be at Durant, which is already pre-populated. So after clicking Add Event, it'll bring you to this page, and you need to fill out everything that has a red asterisk. We will actually use the other two free forms to be able to add in additional details as well. So under Event Type, this is a camp out, even though it is a district camporee, we are still camping. What you choose here will actually decide what fields are available on the next screen once we get to it. So we'll go to camp out. We'll say event name. As you can see, it just added the additional form areas for things that would traditionally be needed for a camp out. So event name is Cardinal District Camporee. Location is at Camp Durant. Departing, returning to will be our traditional Home Depot, which is the Apex Crossing Shopping Center. And then you go into scheduled start. Now the one thing you'll see here is it actually goes to the current month, not the month that you're looking at in the Troop web host calendar, so you'll need to move forward, in this case to March, and this event starts on the 24th and then it ends on the 26th. Then you put in the scheduled start. For us, in most cases, it's going to be 4:30 p.m. on Friday, and then depending on where we're traveling to and what the expected time of traveling back, you can put an estimate in here. I'll go ahead and put 11 o'clock. Probably will be that or earlier based off of how efficient we are getting out of Durant. Dress code will always be Class A unless for some other reason. The next two are not mandatory but useful. In this case, seeing this is an event that won't be till March of next year, and I don't necessarily want a lot of people signing up for it immediately and then forgetting they signed up for it, I'm going to go ahead and put a sign up date that is closer to the event. So I'm going to go all the way over to March, and then I'm going to look at opening the sign up. Well, actually I opened it up say a month earlier, so we'll go and say around February 20th. Sign up deadline, which is the last time anyone can sign up for it, is another handy one to make sure we have the numbers and are able to do for driving, as well as being able to do grub planning and other activities. So in this case, I will look at March 24th, go back 2 weeks, and say the 10th will be our deadline to sign up. Scout sign up limit, I'm not going to put it in for this one, but for things like summer camp or for any event where we're limited seats like kayaking or biking or anything else that may have a cap on it, we can put a limited number of scouts. Adult sign up limit, obviously we'll control how many adults we have sign up just to make sure that we have a reasonable amount of adults to be able to support the scouts, but not so many that we're outnumbering the needs. Estimated cost per person, if this is a known thing like we did for the kayaking trip, you can put in here kind of the cost per head, and then normally put in plus any additional grub fees, because those will vary based off of what the patrols decide on. And then down here, if it happens to be any one of these activities and you know the amount of hours or miles, you can add that in. Up on the right hand side, there's limit participation to. This would normally be only for adult specific meetings, and you can see who that would restrict the sign up to. We won't use that for here. Leaders, in this case we don't have one for this event just yet, so I'll go ahead and put myself in. If there was a co-leader, you could also put them in here. So in this case, now we can hit continue, and this will give us some additional options. So again, this is all of the information that we already put in. If we scroll down, there is a freeform area where you can put in additional information. In this case, Cardinal District Camporee. The only thing I know about it right now is that it is a Old West theme. More details to come. So at this point, we've actually put everything in needed to add this to the calendar. I could go down here and hit save and exit, and it would add. What the other choices we have up here is, if you can see under documents, if you click into here, this would give us the opportunity to upload any, say, flyer or brochure for the event. If there was a waiver that was needing to be signed, or any other documents we wanted to make available, packing lists, things like that, they could be added here. The next one would be schedule and advancement. So we normally don't put anything under meal plan scheduled activities, because that's something the patrols do themselves. But the opportunity for rank advancement, merit badge, if this happens to be something like a cooking campout or something that is very specific to a rank advancement that everybody who attends will achieve a certain amount of requirements, then you can go in and add that, and it'll keep track of who attended. Once you actually take attendance, who attended, and be able to add that to Troop Web Host. Which also brings us to the sign up list, which currently will not have anybody in it because it's a brand new event. But this later on, if you went back and looked at the event, would tell the status of everybody in here. You would have the ability to add, remove, or change things, and then once the event has happened, this is also where you could go back in and take attendance if necessary. This last tab is not one we typically use, but it is if this has anything to do around Journey to Excellence. So if there is anything in here where it was specific to one of these activities that helps track, Journey to Excellence. This isn't normally how we track it, but again, something that you could look at if you wanted to. So at that point, you can hit save and exit. And we will see now that Cardinal District Camporee is in here. If I click into it, it'll give us the more traditional view. Class A, when you put that in there, pre-populates what that means. It'll go down here and tell you obviously who's participating and who's not. But this is, again, how you would normally add an event. Once this is in here, you have the options to go in and update the event, edit things, take attendance, and different things up until the event happens. Obviously, without hitting update or delete, you do have the ability to upload photos into here. You can email participants. If there's undecided, you can email them if you're trying to drive attendance. And you can do some of the other reports that you see in here based off of what you may need for that trip. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any additional questions or run into a challenge, please reach out to me or any of the Assistant Scouts and Masters who have had experience setting up events. And thank you very much for your time.